So, these last few days have been a whirlwind of news, to say the least. This virus that's been going around has been shutting down leagues left or right, whether it's in Europe or here in America itself. And the sports world has changed drastically in just a matter of 24 hours, 48 hours. In that short span of time, the world of sports as we know it has changed for the worse. So, obviously everyone knows about all this news by now, all these leagues getting shut down, all these fighting promotions getting shut down, all these leagues being suspended, canceled outright, or hopefully just postponed. So before we get into this, I just want to give you a quick breakdown and list how many leagues have been affected. So, we know that March Madness is canceled. The MLB has been suspended, spring training canceled, and at least a couple weeks the opening date has been pushed back. The NBA is suspended. Adam Silver has come out and said that at least 30 days, if not more. The MLS has been suspended. The NHL has been suspended. The SEC tournament has been canceled. The Big Ten tournament canceled. The NFL have canceled their owners' meeting. NFL teams have shut down their training facilities due to the coronavirus. And now more recently, the NCAA has shut down all recruiting activity. And besides those, we can throw in the Masters has been postponed. The Premier League has been postponed. The XFL has been outright canceled. The regular season has been canceled. And it's really a shame with all this going on in sports. And the one really remaining professional league in America right now is the UFC. And the UFC has come out and said that they're looking into it. Right now, UFC 249 next month, April 18th, is going ahead as planned. And their future couple fight nights, their fight night on Saturday night in Brasilia, Brazil, that is going to be fought with no one in the arena. They're going to be closed doors. Then their next card that was supposed to be Fight Night Columbus, that's now going to take place in their Apex Center. That's their kind of home gym. That's where they have a ring. That's where they have the Dana White's Contender Series as well. And so, it's crazy what's going on. It's crazy the response, but the response, I think itself, is justified. Because you got to look into this. Let's take Rudy Gobert as an example. So he tested positive for coronavirus. Then later, his teammate on the Jazz, Mitchell, tested positive for the coronavirus. And so you just have to look at how easily this thing can spread, because they're in one locker room. You have about 20, let's say just 20 people in that locker room. And those 20 people could all get infected because this virus spreads very quickly. And then those teams go to almost every state in the country, spreading it everywhere they go, every hotel, every restaurant, every arena they play at. What about the fans that have gotten touched by those players? What about the players on the other team that have defended against those players? Sweat and coughing and any sort of bodily fluid can infect you. And so, to be honest, although it sucks, although we have almost nothing to look forward to as sports fans, and although there is not really anything going on in the foreseeable future, this is going to be best not just for sports, but we got to look for the population of the world itself. Because Adam Silver has he's the best commissioner in all of professional sports, at least in America, and he's handled this situation really, really well. Although when it first happened, it sucks. We just saw games get canceled out of nowhere. Right before tip-off, canceled out of nowhere. But then we got the news about hour later that the NBA is suspending all activity. And I can't fault them. It's not a bad thing, because it's better to be safe than sorry. It's better to be over-cautious about this thing than it is to be under-cautious. The fact of the matter is that players like Darren Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, they're probably not going to be affected too much. They're probably going to have the flu for a little bit, because they're all healthy males, or just healthy humans with no underlying conditions. So they'll probably be okay from the virus. But it's just about stopping the spread. And this whole thing has been absolutely insane. But it's not just that. It's what's going to happen now, since all these sports are being suspended. We're coming in less than a month of the NBA regular season, less than a month of the NHL regular season. The playoffs are supposed to be here in only a few weeks. So what are we going to do for those? Are we going to push those back? Are we just going to outright cancel the season if it has to be? Or are we just not going to have a Stanley Cup winner or an NBA champion from this year? Are we just going to put asterisk next to the year? What is going to happen? Are we just going to force it way later down the line, or maybe come back in a little bit and go with the current playoff standings of each league? Like, what are we going to do? There's a lot of decisions that are going to have to be made really quickly with all this too as well. And then what sucks the most about this, I think that the league that has been affected the most is probably the XFL, because they're the newest. They're pretty much brand new. They've only had 5 weeks. And this is a league that's been growing, and it's been successful. Most stadiums have at least 20,000 people in the seats, and it hasn't gone less than 1 million viewers on TV. It's on the big TV deals. It's signed for 3 years. So hopefully what this means is that the XFL isn't going under. It's not being like the AAF. It's not being like the original XFL. This league is here to stay. They're already making plans for 2021 and so on. Vince McMahon, the owner, has already funded the league for 3 years. They have TV deals for 3 years. So I don't think that the longevity of this league, I don't think that's cause for concern. I don't think there's anything to worry about. I think the XFL will be back here next year. But it still sucks that it is being canceled. And it's definitely going to have an impact on the league's finances for sure. And the XFL, though, has done a really, really good thing the way they've handled this. They've canceled the rest of the regular season. They're halfway through. And they're still going to... They came out and said that when they did cancel it, they were the last professional league to cancel or suspend or come out with a statement of how they're going to carry on in the future. And with this being done now, they're going to pay the players the rest of their salary. They're going to finish their contract. They're going to continue to pay staff, support staff, and right now they're heavily encouraging players to go out and try to sign with NFL teams immediately. So we're going to see guys like PJ Walker, Cam Phillips, Josh Johnson probably not. Some other guys, probably not, who is supposed to be the face of the league over there in DC. Probably not a lot of these guys, but there is a lot of talent that happened and took place and was shown off to the world in the XFL. And so there are going to be guys with futures in the NFL, and they're being pushed there. Hopefully that works out for them. But a negative thing, the one thing that really got messed up is not the league itself, but it's going to be the players that are affected the most. That's going to be in the NCAA with all the basketball teams being done. We have a lot of guys that are in their senior year, or they're going to be eligible, or there's a lot of stuff going on. And so how is that? Are we going to throw another year of eligibility onto their college career? Because right now the NCAA, you have 5 years of eligibility to play for 4 seasons. So that includes 4 seasons of playing and 1 season of a redshirt. There's a lot of these guys, a lot of underclass guys, that are expecting these seniors to leave and move on so that they built a step up and they built a play. And so if we extend their eligibility, what happens with those guys? Are we going to have to extend redshirts too? It's a whole mess, and I'm really curious to see how all this plays out. And finally, I just want to say that I just want to reflect on the XFL because I was a big fan. Unfortunately, of course it happens that my team that I've become a huge fan of, the Houston Roughnecks, chose them like a month before the season. Definitely not on bandwagon. They go 5-0, looking like they're going to be the league champion for the inaugural season, and it gets canceled. I mean, you can't make this up. I just don't have that good of luck. But it is what it is. I'd rather the safety of the health and longevity and the safety of the players be put first over my fandom of it. At least also, since being a Sharks fan, they can't miss the playoffs this year if there aren't any playoffs. So you gotta look at the silver linings of these kind of things. At least with the UFC, and at least the UFC is probably going to be a little more popular now because there's nothing else going on. So why not watch the fights on Saturday nights? What else are you going to watch? There's nothing on. And so I really hope that this helps the UFC become even more mainstream and be even more popular and cool to watch, because I love the sport and I just want it to grow even more. So hopefully, there's a lot of negatives that are happening with all these shutdowns, but there are still going to be some positives. Time will only tell. Everything's still pretty fresh and everything is still being made up, on the spot. There's people in meetings right now talking about responses. At least at one of the biggest sports events this year, the 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo, Japan. Right now, those are still slated to kick off as usual. The NFL season is slated to begin on March 18th, as it has been scheduled to. So hopefully those stay. But once again, only time will tell about this. I just wanted to give you, I just felt it was responsible to give you the breakdown, what's going on, and reflect and talk about the issues, but also talk about some of the positives that could come out of this. Just remember, I hope all you guys stay safe, because I don't know what's going on, but it seems like it's getting worse and worse out there. So just stay safe, stay healthy, and hopefully as sports fans, we can all get through these very, very troubling times.